So in this video we're going to be looking at how to calculate the probability of an event. So when we're talking about probability, we use the word outcome a lot, and all this means is that it is the end result. For example, the outcome of flipping a coin was tails, so it's the thing that happened as a result of flipping the coin. Another example could be that the outcome of studying was a better grade. So the outcome was the better grade, and that was because you studied more. So let's have a look at the probability scale. Now our probability scales goes from 0 up to 1. 0 means that it is definitely not going to happen. There is no chance that the event will happen. And 1 is that we are 100% certain that it will happen. So something that might have a probability of 0 could be, what is the probability that pigs can fly? That is going to be 0. It will never happen. On the other hand, what is the probability that dolphins can swim? It is 100% certain that dolphins can swim. So that has a probability of 1. So we've already said 0 means that it will never happen, and improbability, we say that it's impossible. So it is impossible that pigs can fly. For the 1, so when we are 100% certain, we can use that for the probability that something will definitely happen. Now there are all the parts in between as well. An even chance of something happening is when it is 50-50. So in the middle we've got an even chance, or we could say there is a 50-50 chance of something happening. Okay, so we could say, what is the probability that it is going to rain tomorrow? There could be a 50-50 chance, okay, depending on where you live. So now if we look at the bottom end of the probability scale, this is going to be unlikely. Anything that falls in here will be unlikely. So we've said that this is a 50-50 chance, or it has a half chance of happening. If we have something in here, so if something has a 1 in 4 chance of happening, we'd say that that is unlikely. Okay, we could also say a third. If something has a 1 in 3 chance of happening, that is also unlikely. And the other one that we need to look at is likely. So this is where it's more than 50-50 chance, but it's not quite certain. We call that a likely probability. We can use these probabilities to describe events that are happening. So let's have a look at an example. It says, here is a fair spinner. How likely is it that the spinner will land on the pink? So how likely? So this is looking for words. Okay, so we want to use the words that we just had a look at in relation to probability. So remember, the words that we had were impossible, unlikely, even chance, likely, and certain. Okay, so these are the words that we're going to use to describe the probability for this spinner. So what is the probability that the spinner will land on a pink? So it's these ones here. So we can see that we've got 2 out of the total spinner, or the total sections of the spinner, which is 6. So 2 over 6. This is going to be, so it's less than half. So remember our probability scale, we've got 0 and 1. The even chance was a half. Now 2 over 6 is going to fall on this side, so that is going to be unlikely. Okay, so let's have a look at the next one. What is the probability, or how likely is it that the spinner is going to land on green? So again, let's have a look at the green. And again, it's only 1 out of 6. So it would land on this side as well. So this is also unlikely. We could say it's very unlikely, just to distinguish between the pink and the green. So the green is very unlikely, the pink is unlikely to happen. So now let's have a look at the probability that the spinner will land on purple. So we've got 1, 2, 3 purples out of the 6. So that is a half. So there is an even chance that the spinner will land on the purple. And the final question, what is the probability that the spinner will land on a yellow? So having a look at the spinner, there are no yellow sections. So the probability of it landing on a yellow is impossible. It cannot land on a yellow because there is no yellow section. So that's how we can use words to describe the probability that something's going to happen or how likely something is to happen. Now let's have a look at what it would be if we need to work out the actual probability. So we sort of saw that in the last example because I did go through with numbers. So let's just have another look. So what is the probability that it will land on a pink? We've got 1, 2 sections out of 6 sections in total. So the probability of it landing on a pink is 2 over 6. You can simplify that down, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. You can just leave it as 2 over 6. What is the probability of it landing on green? There is only 1 section out of the 6. So the answer is 1/6. What is the probability of it landing on purple? We've got 3 purples out of the 6, which we can also simplify to a half. And what is the probability of it landing on a yellow? It is going to be 0. Now let's have a look at another example with playing cards. Here it says, Micah has a deck of playing cards. A card is picked at random. What is the probability that the card will be the 3 of hearts? So if we think about our playing cards, there are 52 cards in total. So there's 52 cards in total and only one of them is the 3 of hearts. So the 3 of hearts, there's only 1 card. So the probability, and we use this notation, so we put P and then in brackets we put what we're looking for. So the probability of the 3 of hearts is going to be 1 out of all the cards, which is 52. Okay, if I wanted to know what is the probability of getting the 6 of diamonds, again, it's only 1 card that is the 6 of diamonds out of all the cards, which is 52. So we've got the same playing cards and it's asking for the probability that the card is going to be spades. So we need to think, how many spades are there in a deck of cards? So for each suit you've got the ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king. So this gives us 13 cards for every suit. So there'll be all of these numbers with the hearts, there'll be all of these numbers with spades, there'll be all of these numbers with diamonds, and then again with the clubs. So we know that there are 13 cards that are going to be spades out of the 52 cards. So this is spades, that's the thing that we're looking for, and this is the total number of cards that we have. And then don't forget, we need to write the probability of getting spades is equal to 13 over 52. So from that example we can see that there is a bit of a formula happening here. So whenever we want to find the probability of an event, we always want to have the total number of outcomes, so this is a thing that we're looking for, divided by the total possible outcomes. That's all the things that we could have picked from. Okay, so the total number of outcomes, this is what we look for. And then the bottom number is the total outcomes that we could possibly have. So this is out of all the outcomes. Okay, so whenever you're asked to find the probability of an event, you always need to use this formula, and then you can simplify your answer if you need to.